Hello, this is Team Dawgsforce, and today we're going to give you a brief demo on the work that has been begun on the campus kitchen system. So in this sprint one, which is what we just completed, the main work that has been completed is the development of a schema for the system, which involves creating objects, fields within the objects, and relationships that link the objects together. So once we created that, we then worked on developing a little bit of the user interface and creating some tabs that the users will be able to use to easily access different data moving forward. So let's begin by looking at the schema that we have developed. The first part, I will bring you up here, is to see what the previous system already had. So when we began work, Eunice, the representative, is requesting that we keep the main structure of the client delivery, and delivery route relationships the same. So we used a lookup relationship so that if you delete a client, the history on their deliveries are not deleted. And then all of the fields within the client will remain the same. One thing to note moving forward is in the future sprints, we will work to do a better job of specifying what each of these fields mean. Sometimes, like for example, if you look at FY count, we have number 180, whereas she would like it to be a formula that calculates a number. However, at this time, we do not have the information to calculate that, and we do not have the formula to calculate it. So this schema is built in regard to the structure as sound. However, the various manage client use cases and manage client delivery use cases, all of those manage use cases will be used to clean up the data type and the formulas that sit under the schema. So here, this is largely the same. The exciting stuff down here is what we have added to the system. And the top part, which you see near my mouse, is going to be used to track and record food recovery data. So when a agency donates food, we're going to keep info on their address, their ID, their name, their status. That's something we added to see, are they an active donor? Are they inactive? Will we expect to have donations from them in the future, as well as their phone number? And this is connected via a lookup relationship to the weekly donation, which basically is the donation instance. And that includes the date donated and is linked via a donor ID, which is what you see here through the lookup relationship. Also, it's important to note that we included a pick list with the food categories and the food types, and we denoted this instance in a unique identifier in the food recovery ID, and the rest of this is system generated. The next part is in regard to distributing larger bags of food, so destinations, not the client families, but the agencies that will be receiving the donations. So we want to keep track of the various agencies that will receive the donations, and we do that by tracking their address, the destination ID, which is a unique identifier and the main key here, their name, and their phone number. And it is also linked via a lookup relationship, because if we delete a destination, we don't want the historical data to be removed. In the weekly distribution, we will track the delivery status, which is an upgrade to what the client is requesting in regard to knowing, is the client not home? So right now it's in its infant form, but through various sprints we will increase the comprehensiveness of this attribute. So the driver ID is linking the route ID is linking the food destination to the weekly distribution through a lookup, and various other info such as pounds donated is recorded. One important thing to note here is if the client is not home, we have created a field called Makeup Destination Interaction Name. So we can create a new instance, basically a recursive relationship that will link the new delivery to the same distribution. And all of this is to say that we have created a strong structure to record data that will be able to be used to generate reports later on. So that's the main schema part of what we have done in Sprint 1. On the user interface side, you will see that we have developed various tabs on the top of the taskbar. So when the user wants to add a new donation, so they have a new batch of, say, potatoes, they'll be able to easily find weekly donations and click on it. So right now it's empty, there's no data. However, many of the fields are available thanks to the schema that we have built. However, moving forward in these sprints coming up, we will be working on deciding which fields we want the user to see, which ones we don't, and then beefing up what these fields offer. So overall, we have developed our schema and begun work on the user interface in these various tabs, and we look forward to continuing on with Sprint 2 and beginning to work on the food donation aspect. So thank you for your time, and we look forward to beginning to show you more work on the demo 2 in about a week. So thank you.